Hey guys, welcome to the chess puzzle solutions. Before we solve this puzzle, let's get into understanding the board first. Black has moved from b7 square to f3 square and it's directly attacking our rook right now, but I don't think we immediately need to worry about it. We also see that our rook and queen is connected, and similarly this rook and queen is connected, and we can also see that the knight is protecting the rook as well as the queen. So we can say that white's play has been like very well coordinated with the pieces. The only risk that we see is the bishop on f4, which is hanging, and the black bishop on the light square targeting both the rook and the queen. So if we can come out with a way where we can move these two pieces while at the same time attacking, I think it should be good for us. And we can see that our king is pretty safe with 3 pawns covering it, and we have rook and the queen protecting the back rank. So I could say that like we are pretty safe here. And we can also see that this particular file, that is the E file, we have like a lot of ammunition aimed at the king. We have the rook here, we have the queen that can move in and attack, and similarly this rook can come here and attack. So by which we can say that like E file is a one where we need to kind of like start attacking over the time. And we also see that this particular pawn at E6 is unprotected, so which means this is pinned to the king. So now whatever we have here, so these two squares become critical for us, and it also means that we can attack these two squares without worrying about the protection from this particular pawn. That is one option. Or we could also directly go for capturing this pawn and hence giving a check to the king, which kind of like reduces its options. And if we go for capturing the pawn and giving a check, the king has only couple of options because this rook cannot be captured. Ideally he can go only to this square, and which can give us like some ammunition to like attack the king further. And in the mean, we have to make sure that moving this rook exposes our queen. So at any point of time we either need to move our queen or like capture back the bishop here, so that we are negating the threat as well as adding some tempo by moving our queen to attacking positions. So since we can't calculate too much, I think like this is a pretty good move for us. Let's get started with that and see how it goes. So we are giving a check here. So then based on that, the king is moving to this particular square. So now we can see that our queen is exposed now, or like directly under attack. We can capture the bishop, and we see that immediately the king can capture the rook. While we'll be losing some material here, like we discussed, the square d5 is protected by our knight, which means our queen can capture here and then immediately move here, which will put the king under threat. And we also have this rook that can come to the e1 position. Looks like this is a decent enough play for us to like take chances. So let's go ahead and capture the bishop back. Okay, that seems like that's the right move. And now we can see that king would be capturing the rook. So okay, so he did not capture the rook, but he went for this. This is a good move considering that the knight is attacking the rook as well as this queen. So we have like two options right now. We can move to this particular square, that's h5, and attack the king and expecting the king to capture back the rook, and then moving our rook and like coming to the attack, and then always in the hope of like coming to this square as well. So even if we go here, we know that we can still come to this square. So which kind of like doesn't change our logic much, but we always need to be careful about this knight. Since we are moving the queen, I don't think we need to worry too much about that as well. Let's try that out. As you can see, we are giving a check, and then let's look at like what are the moves he would make. Though the puzzle ends here, let's look at like what would be the next sequence of events. So as you can see, capturing this is like one of the options. Let's see what happens if the king captures this. Then like we decided, we can always come to this square and give a check, and then he doesn't have like too many squares where he can go, so this has to be the one that he's forced to. And then like we discussed, we can give a rook check. I think like this is good enough for us to end the puzzle here. Thanks for your time.